Welcome to the Global WarWatch Network. The Taiwan Strait is heating up. And that's an understatement. China just launched one of its biggest military drills yet, and Taiwan is on full alert. So today, we're going to break down exactly what's happening, what it all means, and what this signals for the future of the entire region. We're looking at this massive, and I mean massive surge in Chinese military activity around Taiwan. These are way more than just routine maneuvers. We'll walk you through the sheer scale of the operation, the strategy behind it, and the new reality that's taking shape in the Strait. And hey, if you want to stay informed on issues like this, make sure to subscribe. It really helps us out. To really get a feel for just how intense this is, let's start with a number: 89. In a single day, Taiwan's Ministry of National Defense tracked 89 Chinese military aircraft operating around the island. I mean, just think about that. That's a huge escalation. And it wasn't just from the air either. Those 89 aircraft, they had company: 28 naval and Coast Guard vessels. So this wasn't just a few planes buzzing around. It was a coordinated, multi-front show of force, designed to put pressure on Taiwan from literally every direction. But here's the kicker, and this is what really sets it apart. All of this, nearly 90 aircraft and almost 30 ships, happened in a single 24-hour period. This wasn't some slow buildup. It was a massive, lightning-fast deployment meant to send a very clear and immediate message. And believe me, none of this was random. It's all part of a much larger campaign that folks in Taipei have apparently codenamed Justice Mission 2025. And that name, it doesn't just refer to one drill. No, it's the framework for this whole new chapter of ongoing, high-intensity operations. Now, the types of forces they're using, that tells a story all by itself. Of course, you've got the usual suspects, fighter jets and bombers. But you also have these really sophisticated electronic warfare platforms. And out on the water, you have warships, Coast Guard cutters, and this is a big one, an amphibious assault ship formation. This is not a single-service show. It's a fully integrated operation, testing how all these different pieces can work together as one big machine. Okay, so that brings us to the big question, right? Why? What is Beijing actually trying to accomplish with a campaign on this scale? This isn't just about flexing military muscle for the cameras. There is a very clear strategy playing out here. And when you look into it, it really boils down to 5 main goals. First, they're practicing a full-blown encirclement and even joint landing operations. Second, they're applying relentless pressure to try and wear down Taiwan's defenses over time. Third, and this is so important, they're trying to make this crazy level of activity seem normal. Fourth, they're testing how well their air and sea forces can actually work together. And finally, of course, it's a huge political signal, a massive warning shot. There's a phrase from the analysis that just nails it perfectly. This whole thing is being called a prolonged siege rehearsal. Think about that. This isn't practicing for a single quick strike. It's practicing how to surround, how to squeeze, and how to test defenses from every single angle, day in and day out. It's all about blurring that line between a drill and the real deal. All right, so let's flip the script for a second. With this incredible pressure campaign unfolding right on its doorstep, how is Taiwan responding? Let's take a look at the situation from Taipei's point of view. What we're seeing is this really clear tit-for-tat, this strategic standoff. For every action China takes, like these coordinated encirclement maneuvers, Taiwan has a counter move ready to go. In this case, it means activating what they call their full spectrum readiness protocols. So what does that actually look like on the ground? Well, it means every branch of the military, air, sea, and land forces, are all put on high alert. They're actively tracking and shadowing every single Chinese plane and ship. They're launching their own rapid response drills to stress test their command systems. And crucially, they're sticking to the rulebook, to their standard operating procedures to make sure they don't accidentally start something. It's a constant, dynamic dance. There's a great analogy for this. It's like thinking of Taiwan's entire defense network as a high-tech security system on a hair trigger. It's not just sitting there waiting for the alarm to go off. It's constantly scanning, it's adjusting, and it's repositioning its defenses in real time to match whatever pressure is being applied from the outside. But this constant cat-and-mouse game, it has some really serious long-term consequences. This isn't just a temporary flare-up of tension. These actions are fundamentally changing the military reality, the entire status quo in the Taiwan Strait. And you can really see the shift here. The median line in the Strait, that used to be an informal but respected buffer zone. Now, it's crossed and ignored all the time.
PLA activity used to be occasional exercises. Now, it's a sustained, high-intensity presence. And because of that, Taiwan has had to move from a reactive posture to a state of permanent high alert. This, right here, is the new normal. Let's just zero in on that median line for a second, because it's so important. The fact that Chinese forces keep crossing it isn't an accident. It's a deliberate strategy to completely erase that informal boundary. The analogy that's used is perfect. It's like removing a fence between two properties. The whole point is to normalize your presence in the other person's yard, to make it seem like an everyday, accepted thing. And the result of all this? Well, it's pretty sobering. When you have so many forces, from both sides, operating so close to each other at such a high tempo, the margin for error, for a miscalculation or an accident, it's just getting thinner and thinner every single day.
Which, of course, leaves us with the one question that really matters. As these siege rehearsals become the new normal, and that line between a drill and a real operation gets blurrier and blurrier, what happens if someone makes a mistake? What happens if there's a miscalculation? And that's the incredibly tense question that's now defining this new era in the Taiwan Strait. Thanks so much for joining us to get a handle on this really complex situation. If you found this explainer valuable, we'd really appreciate it if you could like, share, and of course, subscribe to the Global WarWatch Network. We'd love to hear what you think, so drop your thoughts in the comments below. And be sure to join our community on social media. All the links for that are right there in the description. Thanks for watching.